All right, guys. Today we've got an Oden Customs Slim Ripper to talk about. But first, I want to talk about presentation. To me, presentation is important. Is it the end all be all? No, it's not. But do I give a little more credit, a little more respect, a little more adoration to presentation like this, so that when I take it out of the box that it came shipped in, I get this 3D printed valet, if you will, that Oden Customs has put together. Like, they've printed these out themselves in their own shop. So kudos to you. That's awesome. One of these days, maybe I'll think about getting a printer. I don't know. It sounds fun, but it also sounds like a pain in the butt. So what you have is you have a leather sheath that you're not going to wear, but again, it's presentation. You get the 3D printed valet, and you get the titanium COA, which I think is cool. And here's a little bit of information about this one. Okay, brand new from Kyle. Sent to me in lieu of him sending it to the owner, Anthony. So then when you pull this out, you set the presentation to the side, and you're equally amazed. This one he named What the Hex for the hex. Timascus backspacer, Timascus pocket clip, Timascus pivot collars, titanium scales, and CPM 4V Wicked Blade. This is not the most practical of knives, perhaps, depending on your use. But as you have known, if you have watched my channel before, I threw practicality out the window in my collecting a long time ago. And a lot of my friends share that same philosophy, that practicality is not really a necessity. All right, so what do we got here? We have just a hair under 5 inches of awesomeness. Overall length is 8.5 inches. 3.7 inch blade if you go straight across, and 3.43 of cutting edge, again, if you go just straight across. I know you can probably do some geometry in the arc and get it like, I could take a string and then measure that, whatever. You're getting 3.4 inches. Pretty thin behind the edge at 0.016. The blade thickness is 0.128, so it's starting out thin to begin with. Scales are pretty thin. Weighs in at 4.1 ounces. So it's still heavier than that 1 ounce an inch if you subscribe to that stupid notion. Obviously, I do not. And it's just 0.454 overall thickness minus the clip. Wicked, crazy finish on the blade. And this thing is crazy sharp. Love the Timascus. Love the blackened pivots. The hexagon, honeycomb, graphene, whatever you want to call that pattern, is pretty awesome. Cool backspacer. I love Timascus. Cool pocket clip. Now, the pocket clip, he's still working on his pocket clips a little bit in terms of use and functionality. I've talked to him before, so I'm not saying anything out of turn. This one is a little rough to get into my jeans, okay? Coming out, not so bad, but a little bit tougher going into my jeans. However, in talking to him, he doesn't have a problem with his jeans. So I get it. I need to stop harping and being the pocket clip Nazi, if you will. And you can always tweak the pocket clips. I get it. It's okay, right? I have done a lot of Oden custom videos. Oops, misfired that one. And we've had him on the EDC Hour with Dirk and Alex. So if you didn't catch that, please go check it. I'll put a link in one of the corners for that particular live stream with Oden. And I will put a link in the other corner for the Oden playlist. Most of the Odens I've done have been from Anthony, which this one is going to as well, because he has probably the world's foremost, largest Oden collection there is on the planet, because he's a super fan. Rightfully so, because everything Oden does is pretty high quality. Having filmed him now for a couple of 3 years, this is by far the best thing I've seen out of his shop. This exact knife, granted, it's the most recent thing that's come out of his shop, but this thing is freaking awesome. Lockup is perfect. The action is exactly like I like. I don't need drop shut crazy. I like the nice controlled, give it a shake or two, and it just closes. That's my preferred method of closure. So this thing is just awesome. The jimping is aggressive. So it's comfortable, but it is aggressive. All in all, I think it's cool. I don't need a ripper because it's just almost a little more impractical than what I need. But I have sure enjoyed hanging out with this one for the last week or so and fondling it and, flipping it and whatnot, because it's super cool. Spyderco Delica and the Sharpie. Here's another custom from RJ Martin. Similar size. Different price ranges, but similar size. This is CPM. This is Magna Cut, actually. And again, I like wicked, crazy blade shapes, like the Black Death series Hellraiser, which has a Timascus thumb stud and a Timascus jewel in the pocket clip. So I am all about impractical, right? Zirconium bolsters on that one. Speaking about impractical, how about the double homicide from Vandermeulen Blade Works? Again, nothing against impractical. It's why I am thinking a ripper might end up in my collection at some point, because much like Anthony, I believe in Oden Customs and Kyle Oden, the owner. I do. I believe in him. He's a super cool guy. He's super responsive. When I mentioned about the pocket clip earlier, when I did the unboxing, he told me he was working on it. He had new pocket clips. So he listens to what people say and he makes adjustments when he can and if applicable. I don't know. I think this is super cool. Anthony, thank you very much for sending this over, or having him send this over to me, because I have enjoyed this. I do need to box it up and ship it off to my good friend Anthony with some other stuff, but that's just what it is. I get to enjoy these things. I get to handle them, critique them, and get my fill, and then I can send them off. And most of the time, I have no problem doing that. There are times I have trouble sending it off because I want to buy it. I've bought several knives that have come through the channel, but not always. Not this one, but it's a joy to share with all of you. And I hope that, years to come, people look back and we're like, and they can kind of see the progression of different makers that I've done kind of as they've started all the way through type of thing. It's fun for me, and that's why I do the channel. So there you go. The Slim Ripper from Oden Customs. Have a great day. Check out the playlist. Check out the live stream, and we will see you tomorrow.